All right, so I want to go over my two Friday buys because both are great examples of what I look for when I trade stocks, and more importantly, they're great examples of showing you how I am not the best trader. I do not capture all of the profits possible. A lot of people say, "Oh, Tim, we look at your overall profits, 4.144 million roughly," and you think that it's impossible. You think that it's just going to be me and that when you have a few $1,000s to your name, it's impossible to get there. Well, these two stocks show a perfect example of yes, you can get there. So here is EKSO. I made $2,000 on it, basically buying at 160 and selling at 168.5, making 5% on Friday. And I said breaking out of a multi-month base on the back of this paid-for research report, still competitor RWLK is much higher priced, and earnings after the close Tuesday could surprise. I will not hold through earnings. This is a speculative buy. Goal is 15 to 25 cents a share. Could happen since it's a former runner on a slow Friday. So here is EKSO right now. I bought it right here. And, it was choppy in the 170, 175 area Friday. Late Friday. I had problems because I was giving interviews. As you might know, I have a big mouth. And so the press often wants to interview me. And it's tough for me to try and trade and give interviews. I'm not bragging. I'm not making excuses. I'm stating a simple fact. So a lot of my trades are screwed up because I have other stuff going on during the day. And I think it's okay because, hey, I like getting the word out there about my teachings. And more importantly, by my having stuff going on during the day, it shows I'm like a normal person, okay? Whether you're in school, whether you have a job, everybody has stuff going on during the day. And I know if you really want to, optimize your trading, you push everything after market hours. And I know a lot of traders who do that, but that's not practical for a lot of traders. So for me, when I screw up trades like I did on this one, I called the breakout, nailed it. Let me show you the breakout on the chart. Well, I mean, it's been a tough time. I made $70,000 here while I was on a boat on below deck, even though they didn't show the trade, bastards. Um, Here is the breakout, roughly 160, 163. Friday, you can see it's now up to 180. Nothing huge, nothing like, oh my God, this is going to be the next Microsoft 1 to 1,000. But it's a technical breakout. And from 160 to 180, and today's high was 185, you got the 25 cents a share that I wanted. And I screwed this up. I still made $2,000. It was a good trade, but it could have been better. And again, they're reporting earnings on Tuesday, so I made clear, do not hold this through earnings. I don't know what they're going to do with earnings. You don't want to play that guessing game. You buy the technical breakout because it's a high volume breakout, and there's a research report that I'm sure everybody is floating around in the company. They paid for it. If you read the disclaimer, the research report on Edison Research, it says accelerating sales, but then again, you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt because EKSO paid for it. My other pick on Friday is Plnr, and this is a classic earnings winner. I went over this on my Friday webinar with my Trading Challenge students. I actually tried to buy it right here during my live webinar here at 590. It went down to 589. I put my order at 591. I missed it by a few seconds. It's not a big deal. I would have sold in the low sixes because it wasn't showing much. But then I had a nice buy, where was it? Right here, just before 3 p.m. because I thought that it was going to really have a nice Friday ramp. And I bought it at, what was my price? I want to say 638. It was tough to get an execution. This thing is so choppy, it's annoying. 643. I got some at 638, some at 640, 642, 643, 645 even. And I ended up losing roughly $1,000. Late day breakout on the earnings winner goals, 20 to 40 cents a share. Well, I bought at 643. It's now at 702. So it is a clear breakout. And I was off on my timing. I thought this would happen on a Friday afternoon. I thought that by buying this, it would do exactly this. I was off on my timing. I was dead on right with my thesis. And every single Trading Challenge student saw that I was dip buying this, and I said, look, the goal is to to dip by this. I don't know if the bottom is here at 590 or 6, or I actually thought, based on the chart, if you go back, the technical breakout was here at 530. So I really wanted to load up at like 550, 560, 570. Didn't get down that far. I did buy in the afternoon on Friday, right, what was it? I guess it was like right in here. And it didn't do anything. And it broke out to new day highs at 655. I didn't sell because I'm not like going to buy and sell it within a few seconds or a few minutes. And then I basically cut losses in here because it just wasn't doing much. In hindsight, should I have held? Should I have rebought today? When it did break out at 650, 660? Yes. But I am not a perfect trader. Between EKSO and PLNR, I'm up $1,000. Okay, and I just asked people, who's holding. I said, who's doing better than me? And I like this. A lot of people say, Tim, like, you're not a great trader, and I agree. I'm a better teacher than I am trader. And look at this. Some people say B Fontana just made 150 in at 170, out at 175. That's good. That's cool. You don't have to be perfect. Look, and they said you will get your shares back on the dip as it will. It's okay. It's okay to miss out on trades. It's okay to make 5 cents a share when you could have made 15 or 20 cents. It's okay to make 10 cents. It's okay to lose like I did on PLNR. Because again, what you want and what I want for you is not to necessarily be the perfect trader, because that is unattainable, okay? To say, oh, I'm going to buy this stock, when it breaks out past the morning high here at 640 and just hold it through, 3 basic tops, which it did not look like it was going to break out big on Friday. 3 tops above the morning highs. One of these times I really thought that it would run, especially on a Friday. So 3 tops and it doesn't break out, I wouldn't blame anybody, especially myself, for getting out, whether you have a small loss or a small gain. You go in with a thesis, look, it's an earnings winner, it's on a dip, it should really run on a Friday afternoon because it's breaking the morning highs. And you don't get it, no dice, no biggie. I lost a few cents a share. Between EKSO and PLNR, which, on both of them, I turned out to be dead on right. That's not always going to happen. But between the two of them, because I cut losses on PLNR and wasn't doing what I wanted, and because EKSO, basically I got out because I had, a busy day, busy life, and I can't concentrate on trading and giving interviews and going back and forth, and I'm, this is not an earnings winner. This is a very sketchy stock, so I'm not going to be very aggressive with it. But between the two of them, I still finished up plus 1,000. And, I'm taking specific position sizes, very small compared to my overall net worth. I'm a very conservative penny stock trader. Okay, you see a lot of people, they go big, they use 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% of their assets per play. Sometimes they even use leverage. That's not me. Okay, I am very conservative. I think for EKSO, what did I use? 24,000, so I use roughly 30,000. So I use like 3% of my assets, maybe 35,000. I don't know. I'm not great at math. And PLNR, I use like 7 or 8% of my assets. And between the two of them, plus 1,000 is like such a small percent of my assets. But I don't trade in order just to make money. This is what really pisses my haters off, because a lot of people say, what are you? Are you a trader or are you a teacher? Which one? Decide. Well, I'm both, because by trading and by screwing up sometimes, I can teach you valuable lessons, because we all screw up. Every single one of us, whether you're a newbie trader trading with 100 shares or paper trading, or whether you're a veteran trader who's been trading 15 years, or you're a crazy multimillionaire who's been trading for 40 years. And I know people in every category. Everybody screws up. The difference is that veteran traders and really, big-time traders accept screw-ups. We understand as part of the game. We don't criticize ourselves. We don't, get angry. I know a few people on EKSO, they're just watching it. They're like, Tim, you might be full of shit. I don't know. I don't trust this stock. Let me just watch it. And now they're beating themselves up because the stock has jumped, a nice 15% since my buy alert. And they're like, God, wow, I'm so stupid. And, you're never stupid, okay? If you hesitate, that's actually a good thing. Maybe I am full of shit. There's a lot of people on the internet who are full of shit. I don't think I am. I show all my trades and I make video lessons like this, admitting my errors. But you be the judge. I'm not here to tell you how to think about me. And if you hesitate on a trade and you miss it for whatever reason, whether you have school, work, interviews with Inc. magazine, which I'll be in the January issue on newsstands, get excited. It should be a cool interview. Um, or you just have a small account, or you're paper trading, whatever, or you sell too early like I did. Whatever the case may be, don't beat yourself up over mistakes, especially because a lot of you guys are just starting out as traders and you're new and you're learning. And guess what? You guys learn through mistakes. If I could go back in time, would I hold EKSO longer? Would I just, ignore it and say, you know what, let the chips fall where they may, and just ignore it and do my interview? Of course I would, because I'd be up, it's at 184, I'd be up 24 cents. What is that? I'd be up 6,000 instead of 2,000. So I screwed up and I missed out on $4,000 in potential profits. PLNR here at 690. What did I do? I sold at like 638. That's my sell at 638, not my buy. Yeah, 636, 638. So right now it's roughly 50 cents a share higher. So on 15,000 shares, 7,500. So between the two trades, I made $1,000. Okay, and if I was just holding until Monday morning at 9:55 a.m. Eastern right now, I would be up 13,000, 6,000. I'd be up 6,000, and then another 75. I'd be up 13,500. So when you think that what I do is best case scenario, it is not. It is not by a long shot. If you think that it's just me and Tim Grittani and Michael Good and Azim John and Mark Crook and people like Kuman and now Ivan, who just passed $100,000 in profits, if you think it's just a few of us who are making 6 or 7 figures, it's not. Okay? I've only been teaching for a few years. Such a small percentage of students even bother to watch all of these video lessons. These are like, okay, Tim, buys, earnings, winners, shorts, pump and dumps. Okay, I don't need to watch everything. And they do it with that accent for whatever reason. And what it comes down to is that you should watch every video lesson. You Trading Challenge students should watch every webinar. Michael Good, Tim Grittani, and I, 3 bona fide millionaires who started with little to nothing. We each did webinars last week for Trading Challenge students. I know you Trading Challenge students are a little overwhelmed, but you can never study too much from millionaires. And I was saying this in my interview, actually. I was saying, what if we change the education system where proven millionaires and proven business people start teaching and educating our youth and, people who want to learn, rather than the current education system where, there's a saying out there, those who can't do, teach. And you have these terrible, terrible influences on our youth and people who claim to be, just qualified, and they're not, because they're not self-made millionaires. I'm sorry to say, oh, it's all about money, but being a self-made millionaire teaches you so much. The path is so much harder than you think. But if you don't learn from a self-made millionaire like me or Tim Grittani or Michael Good or Superman or Nate, there's so many things that you can do wrong. The path is already hard enough, okay, when you don't even know, what path to take. But if you learn from somebody who hasn't even, struggled and somebody who hasn't even taken the path, your odds are much worse at becoming a millionaire. So I understand I'm ranting a little bit, but these two trades, EKSO and PLNR, I could have made $13,500 if I had timed it. Well, not even timed it perfectly. I guess I would have sold this at 7. So I would have made 15,000 if I timed it perfectly. I captured 1/15 of what I could have made. And that's fine, because guess what? This video lesson is 1,000,000,000 times better because it shows I'm not perfect. And that is today's lesson. Go into trades with a thesis. PLNR, I said, look, this is an earnings winner. I'm buying it on dips. I tried to buy it right here, which actually would have been the perfect dip buy. You guys who are Trading Challenge students saw me do it. I missed it, didn't cry. I bought it in the afternoon. It didn't break out. I didn't cry. EKSO did break out, got a perfect little uptrend, got a perfect breakout. I sold a little too soon, but overall, I have profits between the two of them. I traded safe, I traded conservatively, and I'm looking for more plays. This is the right mindset. Congrats to everybody who did this well, or at least learned. Thank you. So before I made the video lesson talking about how I coulda, woulda, shoulda made more on EKSO and PLNR, it was roughly a $15,000 mistake to sell too early. Here at EKSO now, I was filming it like it was like a 183. Now it's at 196. I had 24,000 shares, so roughly another 3,000. And then PLNR, I think it was like at 6. I filmed it somewhere in here in the 680s. Now it's called 720. So another, and it actually went up to 730, but call it 720, 715, 717. Call it another 30 cents a share times 15,000, so 5,000. So another 8,000, coulda, woulda, shoulda, made, what's 8 and 15 is 23. So coulda, woulda, shoulda made 23,000. Instead, I made 1,000. So I collected less than 5% of the potential profits. And, what does that mean? A, it means that I was on the right fucking path. Like exact, like dead on. A lot of people say penny stocks are not predictable. Guess what, motherfuckers? They are. Okay? I'm sorry to swear. I'm sorry to be a lot of things. But when I'm right, I'm right. And buying an earnings dip PLNR, buying a technical breakout with a paid for research product and a much bigger competitor at a higher valuation, RWLK, where I'm talking about EKSO being the buy, those were both dead on theses, okay? I can say whatever I want. You can hate my attitude. You can love me. I don't care. I will teach you how to spot these good patterns. Okay? I am actually working on a new DVD right now. It's tentatively called How to Make Millions. And it's going to be the single best thing that I've ever done. I also have spikeability to show you, how to really pick big winners, because I know a lot of you don't really care about being in a stock at 160 and out at like 170 or 180. And rightfully so. You want to be able to pick big ones. So right now, in this moment, today, I am working on 2 DVDs, Spikeability and How to Make Millions. And we have some very special announcements coming up, which might just get you really motivated to study these new DVDs. And I'll talk about how I found them and all that stuff. But for this, what can I do better? Could I have more patience? I doubt it. PLNR, I gave a chance to break out. It did, but it didn't close high. And, the majority of the time when you triple top like this on a Friday and you can't even get a Friday afternoon ramp, I'm not going to give you the chance to, screw me on Monday.
I need to hear from you guys. You want to speak to Skip and Stephen?
Oh, my cable's back on. I'm working off a hotspot here, just so you know how ill prepared I am. Like I'm not optimized for trading. I'm not optimized for anything. I'm traveling all the time. Some of my Wi-Fi sucks. Sometimes the cable goes out. Uh, it's actually kind of laughable. But anyways, with PLNR, I'm not going to give it more time when it triple tops and it doesn't do exactly what I want on Friday. So not the end of the world. EKSO, again, I got out because I was giving interviews and I couldn't concentrate on the interviews and the trade. But it also triple topped, once, twice, 3 times here at 174, 175, and it went all the way down to the 160s. So that's not exactly something that, I would say hold into. What I could have, would have, should have done better is rebuy it. Rebuy it when it breaks here. I gave commentary this morning at 175, and there were big sellers here, and I was like, I wouldn't be long here at 175. Even if I did hold over the weekend, I would have been out here at 175, 174, so I could have made an extra 6 cents a share. What I need to do better, and what I think a lot of you guys can do better, is that if you're in a trade and you nail it, or you don't nail it, but then the stock starts to go exactly what you wanted, like do exactly what you thought it would from the get-go, you got to be able to rebuy. And that is something I still need to work on, rebuying this here in the 177s, 178s, and get another 20 cents a share. PLNR, once it did break out this morning here in the 650s, 660s, you got to rebuy it. You got to rebuy it. If not here, then maybe here, where it's coiling. And again, like this isn't that far-fetched. I I bought this kind of coiling price action. Well, it coiled right here from 690 to 650, and then it started uptrending, and I was buying it here in the 670s. When it's holding the 680s, it's not that bad of an idea to try and buy it. I wouldn't chase it on the breakout here at 7 because, as I said in previous video lessons, this is not a stock to chase. But when it's coiling near the highs and it's an earnings winner, it's not a bad idea to buy some here again here in the 680s, 690s. You only get like 20, 30 cents a share because this one probably is a little too overextended. But just to show you the potential here where there's not just one trade or two trades. I mean, you can make multiple trades as long as you have the right idea and you're on the right side of the trade. And with PLNR and EKSO, I was dead on with my approach, and I collected roughly 1/23 of the potential profits. So anytime you think that I'm like best case scenario with my $4+ million in profits, think again, guys. And, I'm not the perfect trader, but I am rich, and I'm glad that so many of you guys have gotten richer because of my teachings and because of, these lessons. It doesn't even matter if you make $1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000, and let's say you made these similar kinds of mistakes and you collect, 1/10 or 1/20th of the potential profits. You're like, Tim, I'm so close. As long as you're on the right track, okay? Life is long. A lot of you guys are starting young. A lot of people say, "Hey, Tim, I don't have a lot of money right now. What should I do? Should I save up?" And then start learning ASAP, okay? Because whether I traded these right or wrong, you can learn from what I did. You can learn from why I bought or tried to buy. All my trading challenge students saw me buy or try to buy this here at 591. This was the single best minute out of the past 2.5 days. Why did I try and buy this here at 591? And I explained this during the live webinar. So I highly, highly, highly encourage you guys to watch my webinars. You trading challenge students, don't miss anyone. Okay, even though I didn't get executed, there's so many lessons as to why I put my buy order in there. And sometimes that's going to happen where you're not going to get executed. Sometimes you're going to miss a trade. But it's okay. It's not the end of the world. This one, I went in with a thesis on a Friday afternoon. The thesis proved true on a Monday morning. I wasn't right on my timing, and I actually lost. EKSO, all right, cut losses quickly. EKSO, I couldn't have been more right. I could not have been more right about this breakout here at 160. I was dead on. But I only made roughly 2,000 out of, now, what, 36 cents times 24,000, $9,000. I forgot. I already calculated it. So when you see my results, when you see the results of Tim Grittani, Michael Good, my upcoming millionaires like, Azamjan and Ivan, and Mark Crook and Eric Wood. I mean, there's so many challenge students who have made millions and who are on the right path. Even if you miss time a trade like I did on both of these, guess what? There's going to be more. There's going to be more stocks that are breaking out like this. There's going to be more earnings winners like PLNR. It's not a question of if there's going to be more plays. It's a question of, are you going to be prepared? And are you going to be the best prepared that you possibly can? And how do you get there? Oh, it's by studying past examples like these. I want you really to understand that. By studying past examples and present examples, this video is real time, you become better prepared for the future. If you don't study the past, if you don't study current trades, and you just say, I'm going to make $1 million, I'm the hardest worker, blah, 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 then you're like, everybody else that I meet, okay? And there's so many people that I meet who say they want to be rich, but they don't want to put in the time to study. They don't want to put in the time to study these video lessons. And that's sad. You got to study from what you do right and what you do wrong. And if you don't do that, you're not going to improve. I'm still improving 15 years in as a trader, okay? I'm still working all the kinks out with my trading. But my own personal education has taken a little bit of a backseat to you guys because I'm making this video lesson when I should be trading. But that's okay. I've already made millions, so I make a few million more. I'm more interested in creating millionaires than I am about creating another million for myself. If I create a millionaire from scratch and somebody, I don't know who, but turns my next student to turn 1,500 into a million, that $1,000,000 that that person makes, I will take so much more pride in that than the next million that I make. That's where my mindset is at. And that is why I think that you guys should study from me. I think that's why I have earned the right to be confident as your teacher. Whether I trade these stocks perfectly or not, I am teaching you the framework. I'm teaching you how to spot these, what I do right, what I do wrong, and that's all you can do again and again and again. I made 1,000 between these two trades. Sometimes I'll make 5,000 or 10,000, or every now and then I will trade it very well and I'll make 20,000. But I had the right mindset, the right idea, the right framework, and that is how you get really rich. Time and time again, trade after trade. Thank you. I'll see you in the chat room.